Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank you so much for stopping by today. The subject of my vlog today is, are we overthinking our trip to the Philippines? But before I get started, let me welcome my viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for your kindness, your generosity, and your support of my channel. It's truly been amazing, and I'll never take that for granted. If you don't know, the Philippines is one of the most popular genres on YouTube. And there's a lot of information out there coming from a lot of different people. And I think it could be a problem. And I'm part of that problem. So today I just wanted to kind of stop and take a deep breath and ask the question, are we overthinking our trip to the Philippines? I get a lot of questions about coming over here, but my rule of thumb is just use your same due diligence as you would on any vacation. I know that the Philippines is 8,000 miles away, so you may want to take a few extra precautions, but it's nothing to be confused about. I mean, how difficult is it to get on a plane and fly to the Philippines? It's not that difficult. But we do, but we can complicate it. And I think a lot of guys are doing that. We can be too cautious. Okay, so let's talk about some things and just kind of slow down and get our wits about us, about coming over here so you can have a better time. The first question that I'm always asked is, well, how much does it cost to fly over here? And, it's going to cost what it's going to cost. I'm not a travel agent, but I know that at certain times of the year, it's cheaper to fly to the Philippines than other times. This is where you have to do your research, but it's nothing to worry about. It's nothing to overthink it. Decide when you're going to come. Put that window in there and then go online. I talk to a travel agent. But right now, tickets are running somewhere around $1,200 US for a round trip. That's on average. So just decide when you're coming and go from there. I mean, don't overthink it. And then they'll say, well, what airlines? Well, that's going to go along with how much it costs and when you're coming and how much you're willing to pay, because some flights are longer than others. They have different layovers and different routes. So kind of get that in your mind, but don't overthink that. Where am I going? Okay, you can fly into Clark, Manila, or Cebu. Those are the three places that you can fly directly into, depending on what airline, depending on what day and time. But there's three places. So just decide right there. It's one of the three. Where am I going to stay? How long am I going to stay? Once you fly into one of these places, I would suggest that you make that your base. I always tell people to have an itinerary, but see, I've rethought that because I've run into guys that's been over here for 2 weeks. See, a lot of times when I put information out there, it's for the long term. It's not the short term. The average stay, according to the Department of Tourism in the Philippines, the average stay of a tourist is 9.5 days. So I'm going to just say 2 weeks. And so a lot of times you put all that information out there and somebody's going to say, man, we only got 2 weeks. I would say find one place over here that you really want to go. If there's a place, go there. But then I would say stay in one spot for the rest of your 2 weeks. Because you can spend and waste a lot of time traveling over here. Yeah, it takes a long time to go places. You can easily piss away a whole day with travel over here in the Philippines. And then if it's not a whole day, when you get here, it's going to be, when you get to your destination, you're going to be tired. You're going to be worn out. But I would stay in one place, and a couple of my friends have done that. One is staying in Moncton, one is staying in Cebu, and they kind of designed their itinerary around those two places. But don't overthink it, because this next one is going to go into where you're going to fly into anyway. Are you going to be single? Are you going to have a companion? Because for 2 weeks, that's all you can have as a companion. And see, we think about a lot of things in 2 weeks, even before we even get over here, that we have no business even worrying about or thinking about. Am I going to get married? I'm retiring in the Philippines. Am I going to build a house? Am I going to buy a condo? See, those are things you don't even have to worry about on a 2-week vacation over here or a 3-week vacation. But see, we overthink things. We make it complicated when the best part of the Philippines is its simplicity. And you're going to see that when you get over here. So are you going to be single? Are you going to have a companion? I mean, that's up to you. One thing, I'm always railing against the dating sites, but if you're just going to be here 2 weeks, why not get on the dating site? Why not just find somebody? Because you don't have a whole lot of time to be wasting away around here trying to get to know somebody. You're only going to be here 2 weeks. You want the easiest possible route, and that would be it. But if you are somebody who wants to move around and you don't have a whole lot of money, your budget is tight, then I would say be single. I would say hit and miss. But that's just a question that's always being asked, but there's really no real answer for it. You don't have to overthink that. Another one is, how much money do I need? Well, I always say $1,000 for every week you're going to stay here, $1,000. That's just my humble opinion, but when I went back and did my research, the Department of Tourism says the average tourist spends $130 per day here on his stay. So if you add that by 7, that's about, that's 130, that's $910 for a week. So that's about right. But don't overthink it. Just bring what you've got and budget that. If you are going to be here 2 weeks and you got $1,500, then budget for $750 each week. Don't go over that. Because remember, you got the round trip ticket that you can use to go back. But don't complicate your trip over here, your first trip especially. Don't overthink it. How difficult is it to get on a plane and come to the Philippines? It's just not that difficult. One of the main reasons I love it over here is because of the simplicity. Don't worry about how much it's going to cost. It's going to cost what it's going to cost. It's not free to come over here. Don't overthink that. You know when you can come. You know when your vacation is here. Look online. I talked to a travel agent and find out the cost of a plane ticket in that window. What airline? Do they come over here to the Philippines? Yeah. Well then, that's the airline you want. The one that's going to get you here when you want to get here for the price you want to get here. That's the airline you want to take. Don't think it. Where you're going to stay, there's only 3 places you can fly into: Clark, Manila, and Cebu. If you're only going to be here for 2 weeks, I wouldn't be pissing away a lot of my time trying to see too much of the Philippines in too little of a time. I would pick one place, Boracay, Palawan, someplace like that. Go there and then be done with it. Spend the rest of my time wherever I am, in Cebu, Manila, or Clark, and around those general areas. Are you going to be single? Are you going to be a companion? That's nothing to overthink. I'm always against the dating sites, but if I'm going to be here for 2 weeks, I'm going to tell you, get on the dating site, because it's going to be all about fun and games. Don't be thinking about marriage. Don't be thinking about retiring in the Philippines, buying land, renting, building a house, buying a condo, man. You're only going to be here for 2 weeks. This is your first time. This is time to come here, relax, unwind, and just experience the Philippines. A guy was asking me today a lot of questions, and I said, man, stop listening to people like me when it comes to what the Philippines is about. We're giving you our perspective, our experiences. You have to come over here and try it on for yourself to really know what's going on, whether it's for you or not, because it's not for everybody. How long are you going to stay here? The average stay is 9.5 days. Most of us on our first trip, because I did, you come here for 2 weeks. Just use the same due diligence as if you're going on vacation anywhere else. You may want to bring a few extra dollars since you're in the Philippines. You're 8,000 miles away. You may want to make a few extra precautions, bring some extra clothes. Okay. Of course, make sure that your bank knows that you're going to be over here, because that's another question. How can I access my money? Well, your ATM card works over here. And when all else fails, Western Union works over here. But what you want to do, and this is real simple, is go ahead and set you up an account while you're in your country. Because a lot of the remittance places over here, they don't have a license to do business in the Philippines. You can send money to the Philippines from those places. You can send money to the Philippines from those remittance places, but you can't send money from the Philippines through those remittance places. This is something you really have to understand, but don't complicate it. Okay? So I just wanted to, take a deep breath, man, take a time out. There's a lot of information out there about the Philippines. That's part of the problem, and I'm part of that problem, man. When I do my videos, it's over 13 years I'm sharing all my knowledge. I'm not a know-it-all, man. I'm not an expert on the Philippines. I just give you my boots on the ground experience. That's all I do. Some of you take it the wrong way. Well, I'm sorry. It's none of my business how you feel. My challenge for the new man and woman who's never been here before, who has an interest in coming to the Philippines. So I try to share with them as much as I possibly can to make their trip here, more enjoyable and by all means safer. That's why I do this stuff. But we can overthink this thing, guys, and you don't want to do that. It's not that difficult. Get on a plane and come over here. You're welcome over here in the Philippines. That's the number one thing you have to worry about. Once you get over here, it's not hard to navigate this place. It's really, there's 7,000 something islands, 7,641 islands, but only 2,000 are inhabited. And you're only going to go to certain places. You're not going to go to these far provinces. You're going to stay somewhere close to these resort towns or these urban cities. It's not very hard to do. So thank you so much for stopping by today. I wanted to do this video, man. I'm going to tell you, we're overthinking, man, guys. A lot of people, I've been getting messages, I've been getting emails, and we're just really overthinking it. Don't do it. Just come over here, kick your shoes off, relax, unwind, man, and have a good time for however long you've been here. But when you start overthinking this stuff, becoming too cautious, man, you're going to be afraid to pull the trigger. You'll never make it over here. So if you're in America, it's late. Before you let your head hit the pillow, I hope you find somebody to help. But if you don't want them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs, just getting off second shift, or you're on your lunch break and you see somebody out in the street, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a few dollars. If you're in the Philippines, what time is it? It's 10 minutes after 7. I'm getting ready to do my bike ride. We got all the rest of the day to find somebody to help. There's no excuse not to find somebody to help over here. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free. I'll see you next time.